You are listening to the audio number 5 of chapter number 2 from the book Bringers of the Dawn, Teachings from the Pleaidians. The name of the chapter number 2 is On Prime Creator Journey. So masters, keep your eyes closed and sit in meditation to set yourself to that frequency of Pleaidians. And here we start. Consciousness communicates continuously. Consciousness vibrates or can be laid to vibrate at certain electromagnetic frequencies. Electromagnetic energies of consciousness can be influenced to vibrate in a certain way to create a source of food. Just as apples can be prepared and eaten in a variety of ways, consciousness can be prepared and ingested in a variety of ways. Some entities, in the process of their own evolution, began to discover that as they created life and put consciousness into things through modulating the frequencies or forms of consciousness, they could feed themselves. They could keep themselves in charge. They began to figure out that this is how Prime Creator nourished itself. Prime Creator sends out others to create an electromagnetic frequency of consciousness as a food source for itself. The new owners of this planet had a different appetite and different preferences than the former owners. They nourished themselves with chaos and fear. These things fed them, stimulated them, and kept them in power. These new owners who came here 3 lakh years ago are the magnificent beings spoken of in your Bible, in the Babylonian, Sumerian tablets, and in texts all over the world. They came to earth and rearranged the native human species. They rearranged your DNA in order to have you broadcast within a certain limited frequency band, whose frequency could feed them and keep them in power. The original human was a magnificent being whose 12-strand DNA were contributed by a variety of sentient civilizations. I repeat, the original human was a magnificent being whose 12 strands of DNA were contributed by a variety of sentient civilizations. When the new owners came in, they worked in their laboratories and created versions of humans with a different DNA, the 2-stranded double helix DNA. They took the original DNA of the human species and disassembled it. The original DNA pattern was left within the human cells, yet it was not functional. It was split apart, unplugged. Within human cells are light encoded filaments, fine gossamer threads of energy that carry information. When these gossamer threads are working together like a cable, the way fiber optics works, they form the helix of your DNA. When you hear rearranged, you were left with the double helix. Anything that was unnecessary for survival and that could keep you informed was unplugged, leaving you with only a double helix that would lock you into controllable, operable frequencies. A frequency fence, something like an electrical fence, was put around the planet to control how much the frequencies of humans could be modulated and changed. As the story goes, this frequency fence made it very difficult for the frequencies of light information to penetrate. When light frequencies were able to penetrate the control fence, there was no light to receive them. The human's DNA was unplugged. The light encoded filaments were no longer organized. So, the creative cosmic rays that brought light did not have anything to plug into and hold on to. What part do you play in this story? You are members of the family of light. The mere fact that you are reading this book shows that you are family of light. For some of you, this is just like a dream. We are reminding you of what you know inside yourselves. We have come onto this planet to trigger your memory banks, to inspire the human race through the band of light, so that you will begin to remember who you are, to create your own reality, and to alter the frequencies on the planet and claim rightful ownership of yourselves and this territory. We, as Pleaidians, come back through time into what would perhaps be called our past in the vestige of representatives of light. We come back in order to share a frequency with you. A frequency that each one of you has agreed to carry on this planet. In order to change the DNA of the rearranged human race, This is a big story. It could make headlines, you know. The original planners are not about to lose the territory. Do you think they are going to give up so easily? The original planners began to call on the light of family to go in and infiltrate the project, to incarnate one by one and bring the light as information via creative cosmic rays into the place where it was lost. The family of light began its work here, coming into a system that was devoid of light and devoid of information. By mutating the laws of humanity, these creative cosmic rays began to pierce people's bodies, individual by individual, then group by group, in very small amounts throughout the eons, where these frequencies of information brought onto this planet. At times, great battles were fought to keep out the light or information that was always looking to be expressed. The original planners knew that, cosmically speaking, this was a lesson for them in allowing and understanding the creator gods who took their project. The original planners set out to insert their own version of a plan to coincide with the time when the frequency of Earth would be altered. A time when the owners would perish if they could not change their own frequency. Emotions are a source of food. Emotions are a source of food. Remember it. There are those whose food source is love. And the original planners intend to alter the frequency of Earth to that of love. The current owner's food source of fear, anxiety, chaos, hunger, and despondency must be removed. Guess who is removing this food source? You are. As members of the family of light, you are renegades. You are systems busters, here to conquer your own fears and to show the rest of the planet that there is no reason to fear anything. You love to go in and cause trouble. You are famous. You are a branch of the family of light. You are famous for going into systems of reality and altering the frequency, thus bringing information. It is not your task as members of the family of light to proselytize. You simply go into systems and act as receptacles. You simply go into systems and act as receptacles. You receive the creative cosmic rays into your bodies. The bodies that you occupy as humans. You are in disguise as humans, and you allow a process to take place. You are coded, and as your memory begins to rise, you will respond to the plan with which you came here to participate, to alter the frequencies. You will begin to hold, keep, and maintain a certain frequency, and then to line it. Identity as frequency is the sum total of your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies, broadcast as electronic pulsations. As you live your frequency, you affect everyone, every place you go. That is what you are doing now. There are many who already understand their assignment, and there are those whose memories are just beginning to rise. So, my dear masters, keep your eyes closed. We will give our gratitude to the Pleaidians for this energy, for this awakening, and for this knowledge of wisdom. Those who would like to continue meditate can continue. Thank you.